Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone actor Kevin Costner suggests what would help for educational curricula in America, insists on changing TIS. According to the Associated Press, the 70-year-old Oscar-winning artist suggested to the policymakers, "I wish we would have a giant shift in education where history dominated more than math." Talking about math, he stated that people are smart enough to figure out the subject, and they're going to search it anyway. The people that are really good at math, they're going to search out math anyway, 'cause that's who they are, they're just built that way, he stated. Furthermore, the Dances with Wolves actor added that history is important to know because it helps understand where everybody comes from. Costner, who graduated with a degree in business administration in 1978, returned to his campus to speak about following the intuition in their lives and careers. Speaking to about 450 people, the Horizon director said, "Movies, when at their best, are really about moments we'll never, ever forget," before adding, "You'll need to listen to your inner voice. There's no blueprint for success. What's really interesting is how you're going to do it." Filmmaking has nothing to do with politics. Swearing off politics, Kevin Costner stated in an interview that Hollywood, especially filmmaking, has nothing to do with politics, according to Fox News. Furthermore, he stated that film producers have to keep the audience in mind. "I think you make the best movie you can for an audience and understand that you have a chance. Every so often, you have a chance to do something meaningful," he stated and added, "and sometimes it's just pure fun. Movies don't have to be important, but they have to have an audience in mind." Concluding his thoughts, Costner claimed that films and the movie-going experience didn't matter in who is sitting in the Oval Office, but instead about the people sitting in the dark. It's got nothing to do with politics. Kevin Costner, the Oscar-winning actor best known in recent years for his rugged portrayal of John Dutton in the hit series Yellowstone, has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind. Whether it's about the environment, American history, or the state of the nation, Costner's voice carries the quiet authority of someone who's not just seen the country from the coasts, but lived its heartland. Now, the Hollywood veteran is turning his attention to something far more foundational than the ranchland politics of Yellowstone: education. In a recent interview with a national publication, Costner made headlines by insisting that America's educational system is in dire need of a course correction, and he didn't mince words about what he thinks is missing. "We're teaching kids to memorize facts, but we're not teaching them how to care about the world around them," he said. "We're not giving them a narrative, a reason to feel connected to this country's story or their own." Kevin Costner's radical proposal: teaching through story. Costner believes the heart of the problem lies in how we teach, not just what we teach. "Curricula today are sterile," he explained. "There's no emotion, no engagement. We're feeding kids data, but not giving them any sense of the arc of human experience." His solution? Integrate narrative storytelling deeply into every major subject, especially history, civics, and even science. When you teach a kid about the Civil War by reading dates and battles off a textbook, it's dry. But if you tell them the story of a 15-year-old drummer boy who marched into battle, scared out of his mind, that sticks. That opens the door to empathy and understanding. In Costner's view, storytelling is not just entertainment, it's the bedrock of human learning. Humans are wired for stories. That's why we go to the movies. That's why Yellowstone works. We understand the world through narrative. So why aren't we teaching that way? This is what's missing: emotional intelligence in education. Costner also pointed out that education in America often fails to address a core human skill: emotional intelligence. "We're teaching algebra, chemistry, and grammar, which are all important, but we're not teaching kids how to manage conflict or how to listen to one another," he said. That's what's missing. He called for the incorporation of empathy-building exercises, conflict resolution training, and even basic communication skills into the curriculum starting at the elementary level. We need kids to understand more than just numbers. They need to understand people. This idea echoes movements already gaining traction in some districts, such as social and emotional learning, SEL, but Costner believes the nation needs to go further and faster. We shouldn't wait until a kid is 18 to learn how to speak up respectfully or how to hear an opinion that's not their own, he said. That should be baked into the system from day one. Rebuilding American identity through education. A recurring theme in Costner's Yellowstone is the battle over land, legacy, and the American story. It's no surprise, then, that he sees education as the battleground where the next generation's sense of identity will be shaped. We're in danger of raising a generation that doesn't feel ownership over their country's story because they've never been invited into it, he warned. History is not a list of names. It's a story of people, choices, consequences, and courage. To that end, Costner suggests more curriculum devoted to storytelling from all perspectives. Native American history told by tribal members, immigrant stories told through oral history, and American achievements told through personal narratives of the people who lived them. History books are too often written from 30,000 feet, he said. We need to bring students down to ground level. Let them meet the people who made the choices that shaped the nation, flaws and all. Blending art with academics. Costner also proposed something else that would have seemed radical in another era, prioritizing the arts as core to academic success. We treat music, drama, and creative writing as electives like dessert, he said. But in reality, they're the entree. They teach discipline, collaboration, innovation, and most importantly, meaning. He noted how acting, directing, and screenwriting taught him how to inhabit someone else's reality, skills that he believes are vital for any citizen in a pluralistic society. You don't have to be an artist to benefit from art, just like you don't have to be a historian to benefit from understanding the past. Pushing for local implementation. Asked whether he sees this as a top-down federal issue or something that should begin at the grassroots level, Costner didn't hesitate. This has to be local, he said. We can't wait for Washington. Teachers and parents are the real change makers. We need to give them the tools, the flexibility, and the trust to try something new. He emphasized that the federal government could support innovation by funding pilot programs, offering grants for curriculum development, and spotlighting successful models that other schools can replicate. But the real work, he insisted, must begin in classrooms. A message to parents and policymakers. Costner concluded with a heartfelt plea to parents and policymakers alike. Don't just ask what your child is learning. Ask how they're learning it. Are they being moved, challenged, engaged? Do they come home excited to tell you something new? He added, the country we're going to have in 30 years depends on what we put into kids today. Not just facts, but the tools to think critically, feel deeply, and act wisely. Final thoughts. Kevin Costner may play a fictional rancher on television, but in real life, he's proving himself to be a thoughtful advocate for the next generation. His call for emotionally intelligent, narrative-driven education is a reminder that while technology and tests may dominate headlines, the heart of learning still beats strongest in stories and in the minds of kids who are taught to care.